Welcome back. I want to have a conversation regarding some of the dimensions and the new developments in the United States around the Congress and the State Department about Nigeria. I have joining me a guest who is the president and founder of Save Nigeria Group USA, who was also a former Labour Party gubernatorial aspirant in 2023 in Edo State. I'd like to welcome back to Inside Sources, Mr. Stephen Osemwegwe. Stephen, good to see you again.
Thank you, Laolu. Thank you for being the warrior for truth, and your Inside Sources is making impact. Greetings to all Nigerians and friends around the world, believers of truth.
Good. I dare say to you and all Nigerians, in the diaspora, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
So let's get to it. Tell me, what are the new developments that has happened in the United States in your relationship with the government, both in the Congress and the State Department agencies about Nigeria? I've not spoken with you since the Christmas Day Tomahawk bombings that the Americans launched in Nigeria, which many of us believe, is a good thing, to help us in the fight against terrorism. But since then, I understand that quite a few things has also happened in the U.S. government, especially with the submission of the report of the congressional delegation to Nigeria to President Trump. So, Mr. Stephen, please, can you bring us up to speed?
Thank you very much, Laolu, for the opportunity. So, for us in diaspora that has been advocating on the issue of the insurgency and the terror attacks in Nigeria, we always believe that Nigeria needed to partner with nations like the United States to help because of the capacity gaps that existed. But the good news since the last time we met was on Christmas Day, the United States put their money where their mouth is. It was no longer rhetoric, because before now people just said, President Trump was going to talk about this and they wouldn't do anything about it. But two things happened on Christmas Day was that the United States took actions against ISIS affiliates in areas around Sokoto, and it was very, very effective. No civilian casualty was reported, but the terror camps were decimated. And that happened when these guys were staging to attack as usual on Christmas Day. But beyond that, the good news of that day was that the Nigerian government worked hand in hand with them. And that is what was always one of the priorities of the U.S. government, because they would like a local partner to work with. So I definitely commend the Nigerian leadership and the new Minister for Defense. The truth is that we are getting on-ground reports that the terrorists are beginning to feel the heat, that Minister Musa is doing a good job. So I want to shout out to what is going on. I met with Representative Riley Moore 3 days ago, and my first question to him was, what is his impression of what is happening in Nigeria? He said, Stephen, there is good news from Nigeria. Number one, Sunday Jackson has been released. That was my ask when I led the CODEL to Nigeria. That shows that the Nigerian government has intention to begin to make changes. However, I saw people in Benue that gave me stories that impacted my life. And I told him, the truth is that many of the things that is going on in Nigeria has been going on for longer than now. But what he's saying is that he wants the United States to continue in that light of 25th December, to continue to fill the gaps where the Nigerian government needs the gap. I want to also announce that the report that he has been working on, he told me that next week is when he's going to brief President Trump about it, because they've been working hand in hand, but they want to give recommendations. And among the recommendations he wants to give is on how to do capacity building and gaps for the Nigerian government, but also on how to hold them accountable to measurable improvements. Because even though there was an initial, what I call the first salvo, the need is still very vast. Areas around the Northwest, the Middle Belt region, reprisal attacks have been reported. And I told him about this reprisal attack. He said they are watching. The truth is that what happened in the United States is that Nigeria now has been elevated at the U.S. Commission for International Religious Freedom. I was in a hearing on 13th, Tuesday, where Reverend Mrs. Rebecca Daly was there to talk about how she was also a victim of Boko Haram kidnapped. And some of the questions around that is that there's religious persecution around the world, but Nigeria is the deadliest place for Christians. The numbers of Nigeria is larger than the entire world combined. So Nigeria has been elevated, not just the fact that we have this Christian genocide conversation, but also because of the fact that it has gone on for so long. And we have estimated 11 million Nigerians in IDP camps. You know, some Nigerians do not know that in my home state of Edo, we have almost 5,000 IDPs from Borno State living there for over a decade. And in December, we went to give some relief materials to them. And they told us that some people do not even believe that these IDP camps exist. So some of the conversation is that we are asking the congressmen, beyond the kinetic engagement, how do we help our people in the camps? How do we help to make sure we rebuild these communities, hold the Nigerian government accountable to say, relocate these people safely back to their communities in order for Nigerians to be at home? Because Laolu, Nigerians are in northern Cameroon. Nigerians from Goza are in northern Cameroon, over 100,000. That is, you cannot say what is happening is not happening when you have actual millions of your people dispersed and you are not so-called at war. So some of the conversation we have with the Congress member is, yes, the military action needs to continue. What I call finishing the job. I was present on the second CODEL. There were two CODELs to Nigeria. Bill Helsinger of Michigan also led another CODEL. And I told him, sir, beyond the very necessary military action, what are we doing to hardening these communities that continuously get attacked in order for this thing not to occur? And the conversation was never around Christians alone, because I hear that conversation around, say Nigerian group is saying there's Christian genocide. But now you and I know that Christians are being targeted, but that does not mean that Muslims are not also being targeted. The point is that, like I said in the last time I was here, nobody should be targeted. Nigerians should be able to practice their faith in Kano, in Lagos, in Kwara, in Kogi safely. So the fact that people want to throw in nuances like, is it only Christians? It's like somebody whose house is on fire and is calling for the fire service. And his neighbor will say, why are you crying? Is it only your house that is being burned? Christians have cried to Congress, and many of them are from the Middle Belt region. My home state of Edo, we have attacks from kidnappers, from alleged Fulani men, kidnapping for ransom. And you saw what happened in Ekpoma. Edo Central closed all schools because of insecurity. So Edo State is also now at the front line, my home state. And some people are thinking this is a problem of the North. No.
I mean, excellent. Thank you for that very detailed and comprehensive report. You know, just for the benefit of our viewers, when he used the word CODEL, he meant to say a congressional delegation. That's what it means, that members of the U.S. Congress have done a delegation, and they've done two to Nigeria, one led by Congressman Riley Moore and the other led by Congressman Bill Helsinger. Now, the question I want to ask you as we conclude quickly, Mr. Stephen, is first of all, should Nigerians expect the American government to maintain that military onslaught? We know that this past week, the Americans have donated some equipment. We understand that some of them are for monitoring, and intelligence devices, but beyond that, and beyond the support that we got from the Americans against the terrorists on Christmas Day, should we expect more of such military onslaught targeted against these transnational terrorists?
Absolutely. Two things happened on Wednesday when I was meeting with the second CODEL leader, Bill Helsinger of Michigan. We had a report that the Nigerian government had hired a Roger Stone-linked DCI lobby group for $9 million. And I just want to quickly say to the Nigerian government and all Nigerians, that money is a waste. It's flushed directly in the toilet. You know why? The leaders of the congressional leaders who asked the ear of President Trump said they are shocked that the Nigerian government, who they met in Abuja, meeting with Malam Nuhu Ribadu and others, that convinced them that they were taking this issue seriously, should not have been hiring lobbyists to come and help deny or change the narrative, because the narrative is so clear. He says, how can you deny what we have seen ourselves? So they are saying that they know these lobbyists and all of them, and they have, it's dead on arrival, basically. So they just threw away $9 million. So when you talk about, is there going to be continuous military engagement, kinetic? I can break the news also to you that more are actually coming. The reason why they are taking their time is because some of these, of course, the America is doing 24-hour surveillance, working with the Nigerian military. So now what is happening is that the General Musa, the new Minister of Defense, is actually doing very, very valid targeting and bombing. People don't know that the Nigerian military has sold a new leaf. There's a new sheriff in town. And the US government is now seeing some of the things they would want to do the Nigerian government is working with them and doing these things. So what do we want the US government to also supply to Nigeria is intelligence to help the Nigerian military do some of this targeting. And also, you mentioned some supplies. They told me that these are only the beginning. There is so much opportunity. Riley Moore was very, very particular about this, Salaudu. Congressman Riley Moore said, this is an opportunity for Nigeria to build capacity. America is large. America can do a lot to help you. And what they are saying is that some good steps are being taken, but there's still a lot of denial. Stop the denial. Christians are being targeted. Muslims are being targeted. Let nobody be targeted. Now, seize this opportunity for having the attention of the United States and build capacity. You can get weaponry, you can get training, you can get targeting, and they are ready to do more. So to answer your question, yes, more targeting are coming, and it will be more massive.
Okay.
Thank you, Laolu.
Thank you so much. Just one more question on the issue of the lobbyists. Now, my view is that I agree with you and with some of the intelligence and the reaction that you got from U.S. Congress members that is a waste of resources, simply for the fact that we have not been able to put our ambassador in place in Washington, D.C. for over 2 years. And when the Minister for Foreign Affairs was trying to explain that incompetence away, he did say that, oh, well, there is no money. Now, it's not going to cost $9 million, to situate an ambassador in Washington, D.C. And this is one issue that I hold the Foreign Affairs Minister personally responsible for. The fact that he, being an ambassador himself, is sat pretty, there with the president, making the president comfortable with the very idea that for 2 years we will not have an ambassador. Now we have nominated ambassadors, but guess what? It's going to take time for those countries to get back, because they will take the list of those ambassadors, including the United States, and they will review it. They will do an investigation. So I don't even know how long that is going to take. So my point is that if you are also now telling us, Mr. Stephen, that based on your interaction with the congressmen last week, the reaction of those guys is that Nigeria is wasting resources with that 9 million paid for lobbyists, then I wanted to ask you that, who are those lobbyists? Do you have an idea who are they? Who are those lobbyists that we're talking about? Because normally, they ought to be people that are friendly to Congress people that are, known to State Department and White House. So did you get any sense who this who these lobbyists that we're going to be paying $9 million to, who they are?
Yes, to quickly touch on and agree with you in totality on the ambassadorship, we in America, we are very sad that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu felt that as important as the United States, we should not have an ambassador. It's not just the fact that US is important, but Nigeria is in focus from the US government. And Nigeria has no number one ambassador to liaise with the government. Do you know that ambassador would have done a better job with less money than hiring the question you asked, Roger Stone? That the point, the DCI group is linked to Roger Stone. Those groups has nothing to really do with the people that have, yes, he has a relationship with President Trump, but that was in the past. He's not in the current administration. The people that the President Trump has designated to go on Nigeria is Riley Moore and Tom Cole on Appropriations Committee. And Chris Smith, which you met last time you visited US, is the African Committee chairman. Ted Cruz is another senator that has a bill 2747 to sanction sponsors. This DCI group has nothing with these people at all. And these people have heard the news from us. The Nigerian government, I don't know why they don't know that we are here. I'm a Nigerian. Why have they not reached out to say, how can we help to make sure that while you are saying the truth, our country is also protected? The Nigerian government will leave people like us and other groups and go and be looking for Rogers, so who have nothing to do. So what we are seeing is that they are wasting money, they are not getting good advice, they ignore Nigerians that are here. For whatever reason, I am not a politician right now, I'm not a member of any political party. My group is a non-profit, Save Nigeria group. My goal and our goal is to save Nigerians for all Nigerians. Why are the foreign ministers not reached out? And they are talking about meeting Roger Stone, and the money is actually a waste. We need an ambassador in US urgently. Thank you, Laolu.
Thank you so much, Mr. Stephen Osemwegwe, the president and founder of Save Nigeria Group in the United States. Thank you for the hard work that you are doing over there. Thank you for your engagement, and please continue to engage. Thank you so much, Mr. Osemwegwe, for coming to Inside Sources.
Thank you for all you do. Have a good one.
Thank you. And there you have it, another edition of Inside Sources. Like we always say, Nigeria will prevail. It means Nigeria will win, partly because we will keep pushing the major issues. Thank you for watching. My name is Laolu Akonde, and by the grace of God, I'll see you at the next edition.